What's the hardest thing you ever had to explain to your parents? Mum, this video is fake. I know it looks real but it's fake. People do this for attention and they can make money off it, just like a movie. That the chronic disease I have is hereditary. They felt like I was attacking them. You gave me the ugly. No, Dad. The one time I went on Twitter on your computer did not cause the entire system to crash. It's probably all the strange websites and downloads in your web history. That I can respect their opinion without taking their advice. Because I'm working from home does not mean you can call me 15 times. You won't call me at work ever, even when it is an emergency. Just because I'm in my home doesn't mean I'm not working. I just graduated college, got an office job with my own office. They try calling me at work. I won't pick up. They get all offended. I'm freaking working. Others take personal calls. I just choose not to because I am not that type of person. And thank God they haven't found our office number yet. That working full-time did not pay me enough to live and also go to college full-time. I eventually broke out graphs and plotted economic projections and budget proposals till they understood. Around this time last year I met a guy at a holiday party. Seems normal. We made loose plans to hang out after the holidays since we were both going out of town to see family. Christmas morning I'm showing my parents something on my phone when I get a text. I absent-mindedly open it while my parents are still looking over my shoulder at my screen. Dude sent me a dong pic with a Merry Christmas note. I spent Christmas morning explaining dong pics to my parents over breakfast while my siblings acted like this was the first they'd ever heard of the concept and completely hung me out to dry. Set your siblings up for shame somehow. They deserve it. That my SO and I couldn't spend every Christmas with them because we need to alternate yearly family celebrations so we can spend equal time with both. They understand that my SO's family lives far away and that we need to make choices. But they're obviously heartbroken and tell us that Christmas just isn't a happy time for them any longer without us. My parents believed I had made up the word blimp. They both laughed at me until I pulled up Google. The internet is a beautiful place. That must have been a good year. That it's possible to make money off just playing computer. They still won't believe me. To my dad mostly, the crap you read on Facebook is 99.999% BS. No, there isn't a magical fruit that cures everything. Most of the crap you read is fake news. You're telling me people would just make a website for fake news? Oh stop, you don't know what you're saying. Yes, Dad. There's tons of people making fake news sites just to frick with you. My dad hands me his phone with fake news trying to convert me to not believe in evolution, global warming, and about how lethal weed is. I once told him to check the sources and he said this article is my source, you idiot. He also spent the better part of a week thinking The Onion was real news. It was heck. That I'm my own person instead of an extension of them. What bothers me the most about this whole thing is parents who think they failed because their kids don't end up as extensions of them. Like, no, take pride in the fact that you raised an individual and not a tumor. That my fiancé and I were breaking up 3 months before our wedding date. We had been together 9 years. My mom cried. Pro tip. Don't ask your parents for Cards Against Humanity for Christmas. It's likely they will want to play it with you on Christmas night. And you'll find yourself explaining to your mom, in front of your entire family, what B is. That I don't want parenting advice from my mom. She wasn't a good parent and out of 3 kids, I am the only one who isn't crap. And that's through sheer willpower. She is always trying to give me advice, but she still enables my brother and sister to be awful so I can't take her seriously. Yes, this exactly. And when you try to explain that things are different and you rather do it your way, then they get all offended or pull the card I'm older and have more experience, but yeah, trust me, I completely understand. That you can't pause this game. My dad sorta understands, but in most cases he doesn't care. Whatever he wants to happen, needs to happen right now, regardless of being able to pause the game. That, as a full-blown adult, you cannot tell me what to do. I will listen to your advice as my elder, but ultimately I will make my own decision. I will always come to you when I need advice, but what I need is your opinion, not what I'm doing wrong. Steps to install TeamViewer on call, so that I can have a video call with them. Mom, press the lower left corner. Good, now what do you see? Star RTM no. Do you see Chrome? Colette, Mom, not calendar. Chrome. Hope I should never do that again. I had to try to explain to my mother that forgiveness is not the same thing as pretending she was the best mother ever, and that healing is not the same thing as forgetting all the ways she harmed me. It doesn't matter that she was young when she had me or that she was a broke single parent, knowingly marrying a pedophile and letting him abuse me for 10 years so she could have material comfort was still a crappy thing to do. I will have to live with that for the rest of my life, and I will never get over it as she defines it. That she still would rather I keep toxic secrets than pierce her delusion of being blameless is the reason I can't have any adult relationship with her. I could not imagine that. I have a troubled relationship with my own mother, and what I have learned is blood is not enough reason to forgive or let someone in your life. If I had experienced abuse for such a duration as you, I'd probably have already cut her out of my life. My comment may be irrelevant, but just my thoughts. Coming clean about my drug use. Something I hope to never have to break to them again. 3 years clean now. This one's mine too. The look on their faces when I said the H word to them. I'll never forget it. I'll have 3 years in April. Keep kicking butt. Dad, it took no less than 5 seconds to see the antivirus company you keep giving your credit card to is fake, and they're selling your CC number every single time. What a glory hole is. There's a waterfall in northern Arkansas called the Glory Hole. Pretty much a small stream that goes through a rock instead of over it. It's pretty neat. We were staying in a cabin near there a few years back for Christmas, which led to this situation. Several of us were sitting around a table playing card games when my mother walked up and excitedly said, "Who wants to go to the glory hole?" My brother, my wife, and I all started laughing our asses off, which just made my mother very confused. Bonus points, also had to explain it to my Catholic grandmother. I have a girlfriend, Mom. That the friend I roomed with after moving out was not interested in the girl my mom was convinced was a perfect match for him, because he already had a boyfriend. And no, my having a gay roommate does not mean that I am also gay. That I wasn't interested in pursuing a career in the program they pushed onto me, and wanted to switch program. In 4th year, finished BTW. Explaining to my mother how to use her smartphone. I was running out of patience until she looked at me and said, "I taught you how to hold a spoon, and how to use a potty, so." Dang, she played the potty card. You can't really trump that one. I was dating a girl. I'm a woman. My dad's response, "Oh, okay, that's fine then." Explaining to my parents I wanted to change colleges because it wasn't working out and I wanted to pursue a different major. I live in Washington, but I'm from the Midwest and my parents still live there. They came out to visit me and could not believe that there were cannabis stores. They kept asking why it hasn't been shut down. Explaining that pot is legal was weird as heck, and they kept saying, "It's so weird to even think that it's legal." Totally different times. I'm sure lots of people will be saying this, but coming out to my mom, unfortunately it was kind of forced out of me. In the middle of Panera Bread, she said I didn't see myself, asked me if I was pregnant, if I had an abortion, and then jokingly asked if I was gay. Imagine the horror that ensued after a mother thought she was having the pregnancy talk with her daughter and then found out was gay. I mean, the gay talk is easier, not holy crap you're going to raise another human. You barely survived walking and breathing at the same time. Mum, this is awkward, I know, but I'm going to be friendly with you, talk to you, all that. But after tonight, things need to be like they were before. Some background. For over a year and a half I haven't spoken to my mother. She's a H addict and basically she did one too many crappy things and I decided to cut contact once and for all. But the other weekend, it was mine and 70th birthday. This woman took me in and saved me from a terrible life. All her adult children wanted to get together for a meal at a restaurant, but they invited my sister and I because although we're her grandkids, we're more like her actual children. I wasn't going to go, because they'd already invited my mum, which I was cool with. I have no problem with the rest of my family talking to her as long as they respect that I do not wish to. but this night they all asked me to put our personal feelings aside for my nan's sake. I agreed. Eventually, she showed up to the restaurant late, and I chose to greet her because I needed it to be clear that this wasn't her in with me. I was not breaking the silence. It was hard because I don't hate her. She makes me sad. I felt like I was kicking a sick dog. I didn't want to hurt her, but I know it did. But that couldn't be helped. If I'll let her back in, I'm the one who will get hurt, even if it's accidental. I refused to give her the chance. She tried to keep hidden, but she went into the bathroom to cry. I felt horrible. Depression and why there is no quick fix. When I told my mom about it, she said, "Well, no problem. I'll take you to the cancer ward at the hospital and I guarantee you'll be just fine when we come back. You just need some perspective that you shouldn't be whining when some people are literally dying." Thanks, mom. The fact that I was struggling hard with depression and that I didn't have the force to pursue my studies at the time. They understood pretty well and were really supportive, but it took me a lot of time to gather the courage to talk about it. That me buying their home so they can get a different home in 2007 is a bad idea. Seriously, it's a bad idea since I don't want it or need it. I lived in an apartment at the time, then moved into my now wife's home who also bought in 2007. Oh, you guarantee to back me up financially if this thing goes down like a Led Zeppelin? I guess we can try this, but I still think it's a bad idea and I'm being selfish for not wanting to buy the home I grew up in. Whatever, but okay. Oh crap, the housing market just crashed and I'm stuck renting this place out now until it's above water. Ouch, I was hoping you didn't do it. I had to explain to my very Christian parents that I had got physically intimate, and my mom started crying. Real tough, that is. How to double click. I swear they click once or spam it till the mouse is broken. I had to walk my 75-year-old mother through the basics of email. By phone, we mainly got there, but I lost some hair by the time it was over. The other thing was inflation. She never got it. Never understood why $100k left in a bank account for 20 years at low interest wasn't the same $100k that she put in. Bless her, dad left her 2 pensions and SS, and she never needed to know. It shouldn't have been a surprise to them, but I have never wanted to change my name at marriage. Back when I was single, I mentioned it offhand to my mom. She said that I wouldn't be able to find a guy who wouldn't want me to change my name, so I probably would never get married. This year, lo and behold, I got married to my husband who couldn't care less what my name is. After the wedding, my parents asked how they should address correspondence to us. I let them know we each kept our respective names. My dad says, "I bet Mr. Murder Kitty is pretty upset about that." I said no. He said, "I bet he is. They can't wrap their minds around this." I've found that a lot of people have a hard time imagining someone feeling differently about something that was deeply ingrained in them by their community, religion, family, society, etc. From a philosophical standpoint, I do find it funny sometimes what things we get bent out of shape about what things we don't. The name hanging thing is definitely one of those things. My mom cannot comprehend that she says things that are very insulting and hurtful, and that even if she didn't mean for them to be insulting and hurtful, she should still apologize if she hurts someone. During the Tea Party campaigns in 2009, when Tea Partiers were mailing tea bags to their congresspeople and calling it teabagging, Rachel Maddow made a bunch of jokes about teabagging on her show. My 74-year-old grandmother was confused by them, as she didn't understand that the term had a double meaning. I then had to explain to her what the other sort of teabagging involved. It was the most awkward conversation I had had in my life up to that point. The connection to the Wi-Fi doesn't equal internet. Very often when Skype calls drop, the answer is, "It can't be us. We have all 3 bars on the Wi-Fi." I guess I tell them every other month that they could have full Wi-Fi signal and still have no internet. To be fair, like 99.98356% of the time, 98.37564% of people use interchangeably. No dad, I actually don't want you to move in with me when you retire. I have a freaking life. Ugh, my mom has tried to pull the same crap with me. We can be roomies. No, I'm married and need my space. That I got terminal cancer out of nowhere and have only little time left. Yeah, that is the hardest. Guy who lived healthy life and tried to be nice to everyone and have wife and 3-year-old son. FML. That just because I liked something when I was 6, that doesn't mean I still like it now. So stop cooking crappy pork chops. Not that I was pregnant. Well, that was hard. The hardest came after that discussion ended and I had to tell my parents I lost my mom's diamond earring. Pregnancy was my problem. My mom's earring was literally money down the drain. They handled it surprisingly well, which made me cry more. However, I found the earring a couple days later in my room. That I was pregnant, out of wedlock. I was visiting home for the weekend and our Sunday ritual was church, lunch, then I drive back to college. Well, this particular Sunday, my water broke when I sat down in the car to go to church. I sat through the ride in church in silence until after mass when my dad asked me where I wanted to eat. It went like this. Dad, where do you want to eat? Me. Well, I have something that I need to tell you. I'm pregnant. Dad, what? Punches steering wheel and cusses in another language. When are you due? Me. Well, that's the thing. I'm not due till the end of the month, but my water broke this morning. Double quote. That was the longest day of my life. But 9 hours later I had a healthy and beautiful 7 pounds baby girl. 14 years later, she's almost taller than me, relatively smart, and accomplished as heck in basketball and golf. My parents have come to terms with it all, though my mother still likes to throw it all back in my face whenever it behoves her. Yay for Filipino mothers that sure know how to hold a grudge. You have been visited by the ingenious Joe. Comment brain so you always see the glass half full. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.